Missouri right now in a state of emergency as tension builds in Ferguson. Any day now, a grand jury could decide whether or not to indict a police officer in the killing of Michael Brown. Store owners aren't taking any chances, though. They've been boarding up to protect their property from damage. But the paint on plywood tells residents they're still open for business. Let's bring our panel back. James and Steve are here with me. This has taken a tremendous toll on this community in so many different ways. Show's called Money, so let's focus on that. I mean, there's been a big financial toll.
It's a huge hit. I mean, obviously the damage when there's rioting, but even beyond that, I mean, now just sort of preemptively shutting down out of fear.
Right.
In the United States, it's kind of amazing. And what's amazing is you may see the economic impact not just in Ferguson, but around the country if there's a kind of a spontaneous reaction encouraged by irresponsible folks like Al Sharpton.
And, you know, what's interesting is that the businesses that are being impacted, it's not like it's Walmart and, you know, these major, we're talking about locally owned businesses, many of them owned by minorities. I mean, how does this kind of rioting and protesting all the time help it hurts the very local community that they're trying to help.
That is one of the great points that some folks have been making, is that stores like Target and Kmart and Walmart or whatever are staying open because they can afford the security, they can afford to be there. But it's, you know, the nail salons, it's the, you know, takeout restaurants are
Those
the
are
ones
small
that
business owners.
They can't afford to close, and they also can't afford the damage.
Right, and their health and safety, their businesses, their livelihoods are now, really they could be helped so much by the president coming out with a message, not that excuses or understands rioting, but that just says we need to have the rule of law. We have a grand jury process. Sometimes we don't like the outcome, but we respect it. And we're not going to tear apart neighborhoods. And I think that's what probably everybody in Missouri and a lot of cities around the country are waiting for.
Yeah, and this is an area, too, I mean, people talk about it, it was already struggling, that they were already being hit, you know, feeling the effects of the recession, trying to come back from that. And now, as a result, you've had people who've had the damage and have had to pay
Melissa,
for that.
Melissa, think about it this way. Would you want to open up a business today in Ferguson?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody would. I mean, the damage to the reputation of this area, which is a low-income area that has been trying to come back, I think it set them back 5 or 10 years.
So what do you think happens now as we hear, you know, whether or not there is an indictment? You know, if there isn't, what do you think? You sort of brace for that. I mean,
yeah, I think you may see a Holder announcement at the same time. This is another area where the federal government has not helped at all, creating their own parallel investigation, even absent any evidence that the locals were not doing it right. So an action by the president and Eric Holder to turn from the path they've been on and say we respect the rule of law, we've got to respect property and our neighbors, despite anger over a particular verdict. That's what's really needed here, is a new message from the White House and the Justice Department.
I agree with that entirely. That's what makes me nervous, is this could turn into East Los Angeles.
Right.
You know, and no one wants to see that. No one wins.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much, guys.